It is a fact, not a theory, that we are able to observe objects at incredibly long distances, far beyond what would be possible if Earth were a globe 25,000 miles in circumference, as we're told. For example, it is a fact that in Genoa, Italy, from just above sea level, it is possible to see the distant islands of Elba, Caprea, and Corsica 80 to 125 miles away. It is a necessary theory that the globe Earth must curve 8 inches per mile squared if it really be a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, as we're told. But based on such a theory, these islands would all be completely hidden behind thousands of feet of curved Earth. It is a fact, not a theory, that the horizon always appears perfectly flat, 360 degrees around the observer, regardless of altitude. All amateur balloon, rocket, plane, and drone footage show a completely flat horizon as high as we can reach, over 20 miles or 120,000 feet up.
Presidents are puppets, while the true rulers rule from behind the scenes. The real rulers are those who control our monetary system and the mainstream media. A tiny handful of people, made up mostly of Freemasons, run and control the vast majority of the world's banks and media. As damning and easily provable as is this fact of Freemason control, there's one other incredible fact, which has also been held from humanity for 500 years now. This fact is even more damning and more easily provable, and is also a direct result of the Freemason control over the minds of the masses worldwide. It is the most ridiculed, censored, and hidden fact in history. If this fact was made known to the world at large, just this one fact has the power to completely transform the world and everyone in it for the better, holistically, in a myriad of ways. Our rulers are well aware of this, and that is exactly why this truth has been held from us so expertly for so long. It is about the truth of who we are, where we come from, the actual position and significance of humans, Earth, the sun, moon, and stars. The fact is, the Earth is flat and motionless.
That is the revelation that will finally break the Matrix. You have been taught from the earliest ages that you live on a spinning ball, that NASA has sent men to the moon, and you are the result of a Big Bang explosion which created everything out of nothing. Yet nothing could be farther from the truth.
The pictures and videos presented to the public by NASA and other government space agencies are as real as a Hollywood motion picture and as scientific as science fiction. Science facts, on the other hand, prove the flat Earth. There are hundreds of proofs and scientific experiments which have conclusively shown the Earth to be a stationary plane. But you have never and will never hear about these heavily censored experiments in our controlled media. Measurements have been repeatedly taken throughout history until modern times to test the Earth's supposed curvature. And every time have proven what our eyes and experience tell us to be true. The Earth simply does not curve downwards. This mythical curvature exists only in the fisheye lens footage they constantly film, and the fake CG images of Earth they constantly propagate. The spinning globe and every argument used to defend it is simply pseudoscience masquerading as truth.
Millions of people worldwide are waking up to this incredible rediscovery
never been seen by human beings. That's never been seen by human beings. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
Flat Earth has long been touted as the mother of all conspiracy theories, suppressed and ridiculed for centuries as being an ignorant, unscientific worldview. But the facts of the matter are far from what you've been told. It is a fact, not a theory, that bodies of water always seek and find their own level. From a pond, lake, or an ocean, the natural physics of water is to find and remain level. It is a fact that the majority of Earth is covered in such level water, thus making it an unscientific theory to postulate that Earth is actually a gigantic sphere with bendy oceans curving all the way around it. It is an unproven, unscientific theory with no observable, measurable, or repeatable evidence to claim that bodies of water can somehow bend, cling to the exterior of shapes, and show convexity upon their surface. It is a fact, not a theory, that we are able to observe objects at incredibly long distances, far beyond what would be possible if Earth were a globe 25,000 miles in circumference, as we're told. For example, it is a fact that in Genoa, Italy, just above sea level, it is possible to see the distant islands of Elba, Caprea, and Corsica 80 to 125 miles away. It is a necessary theory that the globe Earth must curve 8 inches per mile square if it really be a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, as we're told. But based on such a theory, these islands would all be completely hidden behind thousands of feet of curved Earth. It is a fact, not a theory, that the horizon always appears perfectly flat, 360 degrees around the observer, regardless of altitude. All amateur balloon, rocket, plane, and drone footage show a completely flat horizon as high as we can reach, over 20 miles or 120,000 feet up. It is an observable, testable, repeatable, scientific fact of reality that Polaris, the North Pole star, situated perfectly over the North Pole center of Earth, never moves a single inch. Night after night, year after year, century after century, with all the other fixed stars remaining fixed in their relative constellations, revolving perfect circles around Polaris. It is also an unobservable, unscientific theory to claim that the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles per hour, and the Milky Way shoots millions of miles per hour more off through infinite space, when we cannot see, hear, feel, or otherwise observe or prove any such motion. And we can see clearly for ourselves Polaris never moving, and all the other stars revolving around it. This is just a brief introduction to the many observable, testable, repeatable scientific facts of our level, motionless plain Earth that have been suppressed, ridiculed for centuries in favor of various unobservable, untestable, unscientific theories purporting we live on a tilting, wobbling, spinning, ball-shaped Earth.
Long before the theory of gravity was a glimmer in Newton's imagination, the natural physics of density and buoyancy already perfectly explained why apples fall down. Quite simply, objects fall or rise based on their relative density to the medium surrounding them. Apples fall because they are denser than the air, while
you ever wondered why we have heard about a force called gravity our entire lives, and yet nobody has ever been able to prove that it exists, even though untold numbers of experiments have been performed seeking its cause? Academics have proposed many strange solutions to their mythical gravity by inventing many theories about gravitational attraction. Inward pulling gravity, gravitons, gravity waves, 4D warped space and time, to name just a few. It is even claimed that gravity has a velocity, though nobody can explain what is traveling to create this invented force. Scientists do not even know how their mythical force operates, whether it is graviton particles, gravity waves, a strange, unexplainable force which acts at a distance through empty space, or a four-dimensional warped space and time delusion. It's claimed by academia that gravity is responsible for the formation of the Big Bang universe, which, as anyone with discernment knows, is an impossibility as well, and that without gravity, the universe would be without thermal energy and composed only of equally spaced particles. The answer has been staring academics in the face for several generations now. Electric laws were unknown to Newton in his time. However, now we know with great accuracy the effects of electricity as obeying the inverse square law. The fact is that so-called magnetism, which in reality is electricism, light, sound, and radiation are all electric motion. All motion in the universe is electric. This is why the myth called gravity conforms to the inverse square law, since it is electric force which creates the effects falsely attributed to the fictitious force called gravity. Electric force in all forms, scales, and pressures, from the elements to the galaxies, obey this foundational inverse square law. In the course of this book, gravity is a myth and does not exist. Electricity is the only force in the universe. It will be shown that the force called gravity, which was created by Newton and later modified by Einstein and others, does not exist and is purely mythical in its creation. The consequences of this conclusion are immense. It means that a huge list of non-existent entities have been invented by academic scientists based on the mathematics of the non-existent force of gravity. For example, here are a few of the many academic science myths created from their foundational myth called gravity. Dark matter, dark energy, black holes, singularities, event horizons, WIMPs, MOND, machos, neutron stars, gravitational collapse, gravitons, gravity waves, quantum gravity, inward pulling gravity, gravitational lensing, the gravitational constant, the Schwarzschild radius, gravitational radiation, frame dragging, general relativity, anti-gravity, virtual gravitons, and quantum field theory, which are in fact false as well. With the fall of academic gravity theory, all of these other fallacious theories fall with it. No experiments are required to prove my assertions, since we have volumes of data from experiments already cataloged, which only need to be converted to the understanding that the electric force is the cause of everything in our electric universe, and not a mythical and magical gravitational force that acts at a distance, or warps space and time to control all heavenly bodies in our infinite electric universe.